Hello everybody, my name's Mrs Walsh and I'm one of the teachers at the Livingston Road Primary Federation in Poole. So hello to everybody, this is our second art session. Last time we looked at line and we looked at lots of different shapes and directions and thicknesses of lines. We looked at them in some famous paintings and some famous illustrations, and we had a go at experimenting with some ourselves, and in the end we created a doodle with lots of different types of lines going in lots of different types of directions in our doodles. I hope you had fun creating them, and maybe you've created some more since I saw you last. Now this week we're going to look at using line to create shade and to create value in our drawings. So let's get on with our lesson and we'll see what you need. Right, I'm going to share screen again. Let's see if I can do it. Press share and we'll press go. There we go. Yeah, did it again. So learning about line in art. Now this week you're going to need exactly the same things as you needed last week. So you're going to need some paper, some scrap paper to start with, and then some nice paper to do a drawing for the main bit of the session. A pencil or a black pen. It could be a biro, it could be a felt tip pen or a whiteboard pen, anything like that. And don't forget, as always, we need your creativity. Don't worry if you make a mistake, just give me your best, okay? And we'll do it together. I'm sure I'm going to make lots of mistakes when I do my drawing, because that's why I do it with you, so that you know that mistakes are okay. Right then, are we ready? Let's press our buttons. So our warm-up game today is going to be guess the line. Now, hopefully you can see me on the little screen here. So I am going to show you a line in the air like this, and you're going to draw it on your piece of paper. Now, I'm only going to use the ones that we went through last week. So if you remember, or maybe, I don't know when you watched the session, but if you can remember some of the lines that we looked at in session 1, I'm going to use those. Okay, so are you ready? Get my finger ready. I'm going to go. Can you draw that line on your scrap piece of paper? I'll do it once again. Now let's see if you got it right. That was my, oh, can't see it. Horizontal line. My horizontal line. Okay, you ready for the next one? I'll do it again. Can you draw this line on your paper? What line was it? It was my loopy line. My loopy line from last week. Okay, my favourite. Are you ready? Watch carefully. Getting bigger. Oh. Can you draw that line on your paper? I'll do it once more. Started in the middle, getting bigger. What was that line I was drawing? Oh, I'll pop it up here. It was my, can you remember what that was? A spiral line. Well done. Oh, okay, I think I'll do one more. Ready? Going across my screen. Can you draw that line on your paper? What line was that? Can you remember what we called it? It was, oh, I'm going to have to find somewhere that you can see. It was my diagonal line. Well done. Excellent. Right, I hope that's got your brain back into what we learned about last session. And let's get on with doing our next step. So I'm just gonna, I wonder if I move myself down here, whether that records. We'll see when we play it back. So it says, let's have a look at some artists that use line in their work to create shade or value. So shade and value is where something is darker or lighter, but they've not coloured it in with a solid colour. They have just used lines. Okay, so let's have a look at our first picture. Now this one I thought was an amazing picture. Let me just move myself back up here if that's possible. This is a portrait of, I think it might be a postman. I can't actually remember, but it's a portrait by Vincent Van Gogh, and you may have heard of Vincent Van Gogh. He's a very famous artist, and you may have looked at some of his other drawings or paintings before at school. But look closely at the picture. How has Vincent Van Gogh used lines to create shade, to make things darker or to make things lighter? Have a good look. Get right up close to the screen if you need to. I've tried to make it as big as I can. Yes. Oh, I think I heard someone say on his hat, they've used lines, haven't they? Lines just going across like that. If you look really, really closely, and because he's used quite thick lines and they're quite close together, it's created quite a dark shade there. What about his coat, the jacket that the man is wearing? How have they created the shade and value there? Yes, they've gone one way and the other way. So some of the lines are going diagonally and some of the lines are going in the other direction. What about his beard, the man's beard on his face? What have they used there? Again, lines, but this time the lines are a little bit curved and they're close together. Where it's dark, what's happening to the lines? Yes, they're either thicker lines or they're lines that have been put closer together to create that dark shade or that dark value. Well done. I'd like to try a painting like that or a drawing like that, just using lines. Very talented. Right, let's go to this one. Now, this one was a bit more subtle, so I had to zoom in on a section. I wonder whether you can see the section. So the one on the left is the portrait, but I've zoomed in on some of the hair and the bottom of the person's hat. And you can see, how has he made that hat darker there? Can you see? He's used lines, darker lines that he has put quite close together. And he's used bold lines to create the hair and then shaded them in with lines in between. Now, from a distance, you can't even see that they're lines. From the big picture, you can hardly see that he's used lines to create that shade and value. But when you look closely and you zoom in, you can see that he's made those colours darker, or he's made those darker shades and tones just using lines of a pencil. So the closer they are, the darker it is. Let's look at them. Let's have a go. So I thought we had another one, but no more there. So we're going to have a go ourselves. So I'm going to come out of the screen and you need to get your scrap paper and your pencil ready. Have you got it? If you need to, you can pause the video and then you can grab it. Brilliant. We're all ready. Look, that was our game. Did you enjoy our game? Did you get them all right? Don't worry if you didn't. Doesn't matter. Supposed to be fun and warm ourselves up into the session. Okay, right then, so what we're going to do is we're going to have a little go. Okay, and then after that I'm going to give you a little project to do to practice using your lines to create shade and value. Okay, right then, so I'm going to use my board here. I'm going to probably squeak when I turn my ooh, there it was, horrible squeak. Now we're just going to have a practice. It doesn't matter, just a scrap piece of paper, just to practice our skills before we have a go at using them, okay? Now, the technique that we're going to use to create a shade or a tone, a darker colour with our lines is going to be called hatching, okay? And there's lots of different types of hatching and techniques that we can use. So we're going to start with, now I might get this wrong, I'm not an expert, so don't worry if you do either. We're just going to try, okay? Now, hatching means, did you notice in those pictures, the closer together the lines were, the darker the colour was. So if you are putting your lines, just a few lines, and you're spreading them wide apart, it's going to look lighter than if you put them close together and lots of lines. It's going to look darker. So we're going to have a practice of being dark and then going to light. So we're just going to do hatching. That means that you do lines just one way, okay? So you can do them horizontally, we can do them vertically. I'm going to do them vertically, okay? So I'm going to start off dark. Okay, so I'm going to do Lots of lines, lots of horizontal lines, and I'm going to do them very close together. So you have a go on your piece of paper along with me. We can see what happens together, can't we? So I'm going to put them very close together. You can see they're making now, as it's building up, they're making quite a dark colour, aren't they? A dark shade. But as I move this way, I'm going to start to space them out a bit more and see what happens to the colour. Okay, and I'm going to do this gradually. So I'm just spacing it out, not doing very many, and now they're very spaced out, very small. And what do you notice about that? Which end is darker? Which end is darker? Yeah, this end here. This end is darker, isn't it? Because my lines are closer together, so they're creating more of that shade and that value, whereas here they're more spaced out, so it looks lighter, but I've not coloured it in. And if you want to create the darker bit, you just keep adding your hatching, and that section you can already see is getting darker, but I'm not colouring in like that. I'm just using lines. So this is called hatching. How did yours turn out? Was it good? Yes? Takes lots of practice, and lots of artists, they would practice a lot and probably make a lot of mistakes before they put it in the gallery or put it in a book. So well done for having a go. Right, the next one we're going to do is called cross-hatching. So what do you think we do for that? Yes, you're right, we go this way and then we go vertically. So we go horizontally and vertically to create a cross. So I'm going to try over here, can you see? Yes. Right, so we're going to start exactly the same way as we did before. We're going to make it darker, and then we're going to space it out so that it starts to get lighter here. Okay, are we ready? But this time we're going to go across horizontally, and then we're going to go down vertically. Okay, we looked at that last session, didn't we? Gosh, I've got a squeaky board today. So here are my horizontal lines. Can you see? Yes. And here are my vertical lines. Can you see? Now at the moment that doesn't look very dark, does it? So all I need to do is just keep building it up and my tone will get darker. So putting them closer together. Can you see it starting to get darker? Is yours getting darker too? Yes? So I'm going to keep going horizontal and vertical this time, starting to space it out a little bit more. Not as many. And what's happening? Starting to get a little bit lighter, or creating that illusion of being lighter. So here, darker and lighter. Did you get that effect on yours? Well done, good job. If you want to make it darker, what do? We just add a bit more cross hatching, okay? I'm not pressing any harder because I'm using a pen. It's just the amount of depth of my marks. So there, I've made that bit darker, but I haven't coloured it in. I've just used lines. Amazing, isn't it? Well done. Right, so we had our hatching and our cross hatching. Hatching and cross hatching. Right, the next one we're going to do is, should we do random hatching? Now, you're going to like this one because it's a bit more of a scribble. Now, I don't know if these are real artistic terms, but they're the terms I use in my class when I'm teaching art, and I think they make sense. I have heard artists using these terms. So let's do random hatching. So random means like crazy, no order, no pattern. So it's just random hatching. So a bit like scribbling, we could probably say, but it's probably not very artistic to say that. So it's just you putting your marks in any direction, putting your lines in any direction that you would like. Ooh, I like this one. This one's fun. So I'm putting them really close together to create that dark value. What do I need to do to make it look lighter? Yeah, space them out. Just do a few less. Keep the gaps a little bit bigger. And it's a bit of a look and see, isn't it? So if I look there, I think actually it doesn't look like there's that much difference. So I might make this bit a little bit, add a little bit of random hatching here. Ah, that's a bit better, isn't it? And then just getting really spaced out towards the end. What do you think of that one? I think I need a little bit more in there. Do you know what this reminds me of? I don't know whether you've read Roald Dahl, Mr. Twit's beard. That reminds me of his beard. We've just read that in class not long ago. So yes, that looks like Mr. Twit's beard. Quentin Blake did the illustrations for Roald Dahl. So I wonder whether he uses random hatching. How did yours look? Good? Brilliant. Right, so we've got hatching, cross hatching, random hatching. Now we're going to do contour hatching. So, ooh, posh word, contour, where you follow the shape of something. That's the contour. So I'm going to do, say we do this kind of shape. Okay, so all of my lines are going to follow that kind of curve. Okay, let's see how it goes. So the closer together, the darker the shade, the darker the value. Okay. So keeping that contour, that shape, but then as I want to get lighter, just using less. I'm getting darker and then using less to get lighter. That one was quite hard actually, because I had to keep following that shape. How did it work for you? Well done. I think you did a better job than me. Well done. So I've got hatching. Can you remember what was this one? Cross hatching. Well done. Random hatching. And the last one, contour hatching. Well done. That was the posh one, wasn't it? Now, this one's really fun, but it might be careful of your pencil and make sure if you're pressing on anything, make sure you're leaning on something, because I don't want anybody's tables getting marked while they're doing their drawing. Okay, so underneath your paper, make sure you've got a mat or a magazine or something like that, so it doesn't make a mark on the table underneath. Okay, if you got that, pause the video if you haven't and go and grab something so that you've got something to lean on. Brilliant, well done. If you got it, brilliant, we're ready to go. So this one's called stippling. Okay, and we're going to use, oh, have I frozen? There we go, I'm back. Oh, that was weird. So I'm going to use dots to create my value or my shade. Okay, so are you ready? How am I going to make it dark? Yes, put them closer together. So the more dots, the darker the shade. Can you see that? I'm going to move my hand. There we go. That's a bit better, isn't it? So I'm just, it's quite a noisy one. Putting all my dots close together. So this one takes a while, doesn't it? Taking a long time, sorry. How are you doing with yours? Okay. Dot, 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 dot. Now I'm going to start to get lighter. So I think that's quite dark now. So as I get lighter, just going to gradually, that means slowly, just do less. Can you see there? So we've gone darker. Oh, I'm going to use this hand. Darker. And as my stippling got less or more spread out, I became lighter. Well done. Excellent job. Good practicing. So let's just recap on what we've got so far. Can you remember what they were called? Hatching. Well done. Cross hatching. Good job. Random hatching. You're doing brilliantly. What was that one? That was the hard one. Contour hatching and stippling. Well done. Excellent. Right then. So now you're going to need your best piece of paper. Okay, and I'm going to show you how we're going to use this to shade a sphere or a ball. Okay, so pause the video if you need to go get that. I'm just going to wipe mine clean. I was going to pause my recording, but I don't think it will take me that long. And I'll just wipe it over. Ooh, it's made quite a mess of my board today. There we go. Have you got all your bits? Well done. So, for our main activity, now we've had a practice, this is what we're going to do to kind of apply the skill that we've just learned. Okay, so now we know how to use line to create shade and value. We're going to apply that skill. Now, oh, I forgot something on my list. Oh dear, I hope this isn't going to be a problem. I wonder whether you can go and find something round. So you could ask your grown-up just for something that you can draw around. Now, if you can't, don't worry, because you could just draw a circle freehand. That's fine, okay? But if you want to pause the video and go and get a cup, I've used a plastic one because then if I drop it, I'm not going to break it. So make sure you check with the grown-up what one you can get. So a cup you can draw around. Ready? Pause the video, go grab one. Excellent. Are you back? Lovely. So what you're going to do is you're going to draw around your cup. Now I'm going to stand up to do it, so I'm going to disappear for a while. There I am, drawing round. So I've got one cup, or one circle, sorry. Two circles. You still see them? Yeah. Three circles. Four circles, and you're going to draw five. So if you're ahead of me, you get that fifth circle done. Okay. Well done. Excellent job. Right then. So we're going to use our skills of shading with lines to make it look as if this is a 3D shape, a sphere. Okay, so we're going to imagine that the light is coming from here. Okay, I hope that this works on the screen and doesn't. So the light's coming down, and so where's the dark bit going to be? Where's the shadow going to be? Yeah, on this side. Okay, light's coming down, and the shadow's going to be on that side. So the first one we're going to do is our hatching. So remember, our hatching went one way. So you have a go at yours. Now, I'm just going to remember this bit is going to be very dark to start with. So if I just draw an imaginary line here, this half is going to be the lighter bit. Okay, that's going to be the light bit because the light's shining down on here. So I need to make this side as dark as I can. Okay, so that bit I'm going to make really, really dark. And then here, I'm going to start making it much lighter. It's quite hard, isn't it, to kind of, you have to make sure you do it gradually and then build up the dark bit. How did yours do? Now pause the video if I go too fast, and then you can take your time using your techniques to shade in your sphere. So pause the video, have a go at your hatching, and then unpause when you're ready for the next one. Right then, good job. Well done with your hatching. So our next one's going to be cross hatching. Okay, now this one, we need to go vertically, up and down, got it the wrong way then, and horizontally, okay? So remember, the light is shining on our ball here. So here is going to be dark and here is going to be light, okay? So we're going to go cross hatching. So I'm going to start with my, well, they're diagonal lines now really because of the way I've started to draw them on my sphere. And then go the other way, nice and close together because this is the darkest part. And now I'm going to start to get a bit more spaced out. And then going the other way. Always do it gradually and then maybe take a step back and have a look and see what you think. think mine needs to be a bit darker here. So I'm going to add some more cross hatching there. Brilliant. Pause the video if you need some extra time to carry on with your cross hatching. Fantastic. These are looking really good, aren't they? They're giving the illusion of the light shining on the sphere there. So we've got our hatching, our cross hatching, and then next one, who can remember what it was? Random, wasn't it? I think it was the random hatching. So this was the fun one. So remember, it's a bit like scribbling, so the lines can go in any direction you like. So remember, the light is shining. So this is going to be my dark side. This is going to be my light side. Okay. So I'm just going to do the dark side first. So really building up those random lines and then getting a little bit more spaced out as I get to the end. How's that looking for you? Do you think mine needs to be a bit darker there? I think so. Oh, nearly went out of the lines then, doesn't matter though. There we go. Right, pause the video and carry on with your random hatching until you're happy with your sphere. Well done. So we've got our hatching, contour hatching, random hatching. Quite pleased with mine at the moment. You happy with yours? Excellent. Let's carry on. So the next one was the contour hatching. Now this was the one I found most tricky. I don't know about you. So we had to follow the shape of the object that we were drawing. Okay, so we're going to do the curves of the sphere. Now remember, the darker the value or shade, the closer together the line. So now I'm gonna, it's getting lighter, so I'm going to start spacing my lines out. How's that? I think maybe a little bit more on the end in my darker side, just to make it a little bit darker. So pause the video and carry on with your contour hatching until you're happy. Brilliant. Well done. These are looking really good, aren't they? I'm sure yours look amazing as well. Now the last one, this was the one, make sure you've got your mat underneath so that we don't make any marks on whatever you're drawing on the table or anything like that, because if you're using a pencil you can make a mark. So make sure you've got a magazine or a mat underneath. Are we ready? So this one is going to be stippling, or so using the end of your pen or the end of your pencil. So remember, the closer your marks are and the more of them they are, the darker your shade or value will be. Now this is the one that takes a long time, so you probably might need to pause the video to carry on with yours. It's a good exercise for your arms, isn't it? Very good exercise for your arms. So really close together. You doing it? Yeah. Taking a long time. Just filling up that half. And then starting to go a bit slower when you're doing this bit, don't you? When you're spreading out. What do we think? I'm having a look there. Yeah, it definitely looks darker when they're closer together, doesn't it? Might build that bit up there. And then you can see. So pause the video and carry on with your stippling until you're happy with your sphere. Brilliant. So now you guys must have finished. I'm quite happy with mine. Which one did you find easiest? Really? I think I found maybe the random hatching easiest because I didn't have to worry about what direction I was going in. Which one did you find the trickiest? Oh, that one. Mine was the contour hatching, because I had to follow the shape of the object. Which one do you think is the most effective, the best one, the one that makes the best effect of showing darker and lighter shades? Right. I think that mine would be maybe the cross hatching, actually. I think that looks quite effective there. And the contour hatching really shows the shape of the object. Now, how could you use this skill if you were drawing another object? Maybe have a go later at putting a light on, putting an object on the table and a light, and then having a go at using your lines to shade in this way. You could use an apple or maybe an ornament, a vase or something like that, but have a go at using the skills that you've learnt today. Right, I look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye.